Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. The video I found from John Anderson, the former Prime Minister of Australia, asking Victor Davis Hanson, who's a brilliant, brilliant man. He thinks things out very clearly. He's very much on the same line with Thomas Sowell, instructor, professor. I believe it's in Stanford. I know he's in California. Very old school conservative. And the question was, what choices does Donald Trump have now? And I think he's an intelligent man. I think Trump should listen. Let's check out part of it now.
He's got two choices. He can be a tragic hero and say that I had some personality excesses. People called me crass and crude, but I got this agenda. We were successful. And now I paved the way for a new Republican Party. But the very Sturm und Drang of that process made me unelectable, or maybe not going to be the right, and I'm going to ride off in the sunset and rest on my laurel. Or
now we know that Donald Trump won't do that. President Trump won't do that. He just doesn't have the personality for it. So let's check out what Professor Hanson has to say is another choice for President Trump, and I think the correct one. And anybody that knows anybody in the Trump campaign, by a fluke of luck, if they see this video, I'll leave a link in the description to it as well. It's worth listening to. President Trump, please listen. There's so much at stake here. Not just the future of the United States, the future of the world for at least a generation, if not two. I know that's a lot to put on your shoulders, but you've asked for it, and now you have it. Let's listen on.
Or if he wants to say current, then he's got to shift attention from himself to the agenda. I know that he has great confidence in himself, but he can say that I gave you this agenda. And everybody seems to agree that we have to restore the industrial capacity of the United States. We've got to be tough on China. We've got to have a border that's secure. We have to have a deterrent foreign policy. We have to have a responsible monetary policy. We've got to pump oil and gas. And people were not talking about it like I was. And now we're all on the same page. So
now, you got to remember something. This is Donald Trump from the 1970s up to when he ran in 2016. He's been talking about these same issues. And years ago on the Oprah show, when he was a Democrat, now the Democrats loved him. Like they came to him for money. That was their buddy. And he's been saying, we're getting screwed, we're getting screwed, we're getting screwed. And back then it was Japan. And then it changed to China. They're bleeding our country drop by drop. We should be energy independent. We should have manufacturing here, industry, the works. Second Amendment, First Amendment, right down the line. And that's all he talked about for decades. And then when he finally ran, so the agenda that the Republicans really wanted the whole time, or the majority of them, was stuff he's been saying. And he did switch to Republican later down the road. And he talks about things that happened in 2020. Can't go into on this channel because it's YouTube, but even still, Professor Hanson warns him, get off of top beating that drum. Stop talking about how you got screwed over. Stop, stop, stop. Talk about the agenda only. I wish Trump's people would listen to this. And Trump's an intelligent man. I noticed lately he hasn't mentioned the 2020 election very much. But I'm telling you right now, the way to get back at the people that say that did things to you that weren't proper is to win. Is to win. That shuts up the critics. Use a sports analogy. You know, there's a lot of rivalries in sports. And the best way to shut up that rivalry is to win. Let's listen on.
So as long as people agree with this agenda that I have established, the personalities, myself included, are not so important. And I think that would be wise for him to do that. Ironically, he would get more credit if he would do that. But if he takes the third alternative.
Now, the third alternative is worse. If he's got a strong personality. There's no way around it. And he's stubborn. Many times he won't listen, but it looks like he's listening a little bit this time. I wish he would go further. Be the Trump of 2016. I'm not saying that not talking about the election of 2020 vindicates everybody that said the things they said. I can't go into the detail here because this is YouTube. But people don't want to hear that. I mean, one thing I learned from being an elected official in upstate New York for 8 years, I was a city council member and council president 1 year, is being right isn't enough. President Trump, those same rules apply to the presidency and even a local elected official. Being right isn't enough. Stick with your agenda. Your agenda is fine. Your agenda is perfect. Stick to that. And the only way to get back at the slights that were done to you, the things you say were done to you, is to win. Let's listen on.
And that's what you hinted at. And he keeps dwelling on the injustices that were done to him. He's kind of like a Sophoclean Ajax, where the entire play is about all the wrongs that people did to Ajax, all of which were legitimate criticism. Everything he says has legitimate grounds, but it doesn't matter now.
That's right. Being right isn't enough. They had legitimate grounds for some of his complaints. But being right isn't enough. Stick to your principles. Don't let your strong personality, your win-win-win personality get in your own way. I remember when Trump won in 2016, I said, you know, it's funny. What he had to say and do to get elected, he pulled the inside straight, there's no question. But what he had to do to get elected is going to make it impossible for him to govern. And that's basically what happened when the Republicans lost the majority in the House his first 2 years as president. And then COVID, and then the other things. He feels like he was screwed over in a lot of ways, not just with the election, but with COVID and many other things. And he kind of was. He kind of was, but bringing that up all the time, playing the victim card does not go well with conservatives. It doesn't go well at all. So let's listen on.
The matter is the future of the United States and the world.
Yeah.
And so
it really is that big, isn't it,
yes.
Victor?
The problem is he's put himself into a paradox where the effort to get justice, even if he were to achieve it, would be such a distraction and such controversy that his agenda would be overshadowed.
That's right. His agenda would be overshadowed. It would. Like I said, the best way to get back at your enemies, the best way to get back at people that you feel have slighted you in the past and done certain things, legal and illegal, the best way to overcome all of them is to win. And then if you want to seek your retribution on your political enemies, then so be it. But you cannot do it unless you win. I'll leave it at this. Please, President Trump and any Trump supporters out there, spread the word far and wide. Maybe someone in the Trump campaign will pick it up. We'll have to see. But that's a smart move. I see some of his policy videos coming out. Stay on track. Do not get sidetracked with stuff that, even if it is true, will hurt your candidacy. Things were swimming just along smoothly for our economy and our country the first 2 years for your president, the first 3 years. And then you got some bad luck. You can't predict bad luck. You've had bad luck in the past. When businesses failed, many succeeded. Very well successful guy. But no track record is perfect. Keep plugging along. I beg of you, President Trump, for all our sakes. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.